what you're doing is you're taking this formula where you have p equals whatever this coefficient is, so that would be the negative 16, and that would be divided by 4. The unique part here is the negative 16. That one is specifically coming from this equation. But the blue parts, these are from the formula itself. This is how you find p. You just divide that coefficient by 4. This ends up being negative 4. This is a y-squared equation, so if you had to say which direction it's opening, because it's a y-squared parabola, it would either open left or right. If p is negative, that means it's going to open up left. If it was positive, it would have gone to the right. But if you had to graph it, or you could, if you wanted to check your work by graphing at the end, you would see that that would make sense, that it opens left. Now, this is based off of this form of the equation. You have y minus k squared, then you have 4p, and that's where this 4 came from, by the way. The 4p equals negative 16. But then you also have x minus h. So the thing about this form of the equation is that if you look at the one that we have, there's no parentheses for y or x. That means that it's this kind where the k is a 0 and the h is also a 0. So it's simplified to this, where it just had y squared equals 4px. And so in that case, if you don't see numbers in parentheses with the x or the y, that means both of them are zeros. Now, the vertex here, this is another case where you'd have h and k. And we saw that they're both zeros in this case because we don't see any numbers in the parentheses with either x or y. So then you'd say that the vertex is 0, 0. You'd want to find the vertex before you find the focus. So we found the vertex here. From that, you want to find the focus and then the directrix. So what you do is you take this information about the vertex. Because we know that p is going to the left, you'd be modifying the h coordinate, which is like the x coordinate in this case when you're graphing. So then, if it opens left, here's a formula for it. You can say that it's h, and you just go ahead and add p to it. It won't matter if p is actually negative like it is here, because when you put the numbers from our actual question, the h is a 0. When you add negative 4, you can just say you're subtracting 4, leave the k as a 0, and you get the next point of information. This is the focus. So to kind of summarize, once you know what p is, and you know it's going left, then you go ahead and add it to the h coordinate of the vertex, and that gives you the focus. And at the same time, you can find the directrix. You take the vertex again. The similarity is that you do use p again, but the difference between this and the focus is that this is going to be an equation of a line. Now, if it was y, this would be the case where you have x squared. But if it's y squared, then for the directrix equation, it's going to be x equals. Because the y squared opens up sideways, either left or right, and the directrix will need to be a vertical line in that case. So then for this, you'd just be saying h minus p, just like that, directly as an equation. And so you say that the h is a 0, the p is the negative 4. When you simplify this, you're adding 4. So then the equation is going to be x equals 4. And that's how you can find the equation of the directrix. So far, do you have any questions about anything?
No. So far, so good.
Alright. Now, for this last part, the 2 points defining the latus rectum, you need the original equation here. So we'll take this y squared equals negative 16, and we'll write it down here. What you're doing is you're taking the focus, and specifically, you're taking the coordinates from the focus, but not both of them. The easy way to remember which one you have to take from the focus is based on which one is the first power. So which one's on this side of the equation, that's one way to think about it, or which one's the first power. Here, the x is the first power term. So the x being the first power term means that you take only the x coordinate from the focus and you plug it in here. And so you leave the y squared by itself, you leave it the same. Put the negative 16 times negative 4. This turns into positive 64. And then you go ahead and find the square roots of this. You do the plus or minus square root of 64, which means that it's plus or minus 8. And then remember, this was based on the x coordinate of the focus. So this gives you the answer very quickly. You got the 2 points. When the x was negative 4 for the focus, we found that one of them is positive 8. The other one is negative 8. Alright, so that's it for this question.